Hey there, it's Ann Sieg coming at you, and want to dive into a topic or a question that someone submitted to me as they came into my private leadership group. They fill out a survey and they kind of give me an idea of what they're looking for. So I'm going to address that in this Facebook Live. So before I dive into this, I want you to go to annsiegmentor.com to join my private leadership community. That's annsiegmentor.com. So my expertise, my background, I have built 3 separate 7-figure income businesses in 3 different industries, that being internet marketing, network marketing, and in the e-commerce training space. All right, so I had a gentleman request as he was coming into my group. He wanted to increase his communication and marketing skills. And I really liked it that he stated communication, because that's really what marketing is all about, is the ability to be an effective communicator as you match your offer with that person's desires, what they are wanting to accomplish, fix, or avoid. That through that communication process, be that in the spoken word, a consultation, or in the written or video, that you create that transaction of melding between what that person is looking for a resource, for help, and then you as that perfect solutions provider. All right, so what I'm going to do is recommend a book for those who have like no background whatsoever in salesmanship. And that is a book that trained me on consultative selling. It was how I actually received my first online certification. And it was, yes, you had to demonstrate knowledge of the material, but I tell you what, you didn't get certified unless you had the real, in the world results. So that's what I did, and I became the top producer in that company, my first online training company, as I became a marketer of that company. So this is the book. It's an old one, but it is so solid. It's called The New Conceptual Selling. Now, it's not so new because this is an old book, but the concepts are very hold true, because they are all about human nature. So The New Conceptual Selling, the most effective and proven method for face-to-face sales planning. Now, face-to-face, I do most of my work online, but I do face-to-face via Zoom, for example. I think a lot of you know what Zoom is. It's a software akin to GoToWebinar or Skype, except you get to see each other face-to-face. And we do almost all our meetings that way. And it's like you're in this, real world face-to-face. And so it's pretty much exactly the same in my estimation. Anyway, so I'm going to run through the principles of this book for you. For those of you who you just need to set a foundation in understanding salesmanship. And that salesmanship being whether you are doing that face-to-face or in written format. I always like to say that sales and marketing are joined at the hip. But you really got to get the foundation of sales first. Now, I would love to be able to say, hey, if you want to be really good at marketing, you actually have to do face-to-face sales first. I did. I knocked on doors. I did that. It was Avon. I used to ring the doorbell and I'd give them their catalog, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I did many home parties where I would, show my products, and then people would buy. I used to do health awareness seminar presentations, and people would line up and buy from me. I really enjoyed the sales process so much more when I educated people through the process, and then I was just positioned as an expert, and they would buy from me. Okay. So before I dive into the basic fundamentals of this book, make sure you go to annsiegmentor.com, and then you can get involved with me as we go through business books every month. Right now we're going through Born to Build, which is written by Jim Clifton from Gallup, and there is an online assessment that you can take in that book. All right, so that's one activity that we do inside my Leaders Circle. So go to annsiegmentor.com. All right, so the new conceptual selling, it all begins with this. Which is the entire premise of a business, is that in business you are solving people's problems, right? You're solving a problem. And so what we begin with for that end person that you're speaking to is they have what's called a concept. And that concept that you need to discover is, what do they want to accomplish, fix, or avoid in their life? Relative to, there could be many things they're trying to do, but more relative to the need, the solution that you can provide to them. be that a health concern, a yard maintenance concern, a car, income, you name it, right? What do they want to accomplish, fix, or avoid? And isn't that the sum of life? We're always going through these series of, I want to accomplish this. I need to fix this. Oh man, I really need to avoid that. So you got to find out their concept. You're taking notes, right? Of course you are, because now you're going to start to see the world a little bit differently as a great communicator. Instead of it all being agenda driven on your end, it will be an agenda, but it is an agenda that's more meaningful and impactful and has a genuine interest and concern for the individual, instead of taking your offer and just ramrodding it down someone's throat. And you haven't even spent a lick of time listening to that person and identifying their needs and desires and wants. With me? Okay, good. Just think how pleasure it would be for yourself if someone walked you through this process. They want to know what your concept was. What do you want to accomplish, fix, or avoid? Now we're on to the next step. Here's what it is. It's divergent thinking. People diverge out. I have a problem. I need to get it fixed. I'm trying to avoid it. So I start to look at options, don't I? Whether I'm actively or I trip over them, I become aware. There's the 7 levels of awareness, however. But the divergent. And so then you, as a skilled consultant, would ask them, well, that's interesting. So from what I understand, you are wanting to avoid retirement of not having enough funds to support your lifestyle. Is that correct, Jim? Jim says, yes, that is exactly my concern. Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Jim. And Jim, what are some of the resources that you've looked at and considered to help you correct that problem for yourself? And you just go, you go quiet, and you listen to what Jim has done. And it's going to vary from people who have done very little or they've done a lot of homework and research. But you are all ears. You are all ears, and I love taking notes. You know, and while they are sharing these details with me, I'm thinking now how I can best position my solution relative to what they now have told me. Because I can come in very focused and I can shine a spotlight on those aspects of my offer that really help them with whatever they've mentioned. And I'm not going to waste their time with other aspects of my offer that I think are just so whiz-bang and surely they're going to love this. Maybe not. I'd rather have them tell me what they want, what they're looking for, what really bugs and irritates them, what they love, what they're interested in. And I like to delve further. Whatever you do, do not do this. A superficial question for the sake of asking a superficial question. People can read right through that. That's boring. When they ask a question, oh yeah, here's that question, I better ask that question. No, not you. Instead, you delve further. That shows you're a keen listener. Oh, so that's really interesting. So you're telling me that when you read that book, you had the concern that, well, what was your feeling? See, I want to know their feelings. People buy with their emotions. They justify with logic. I want to know, well, what made you feel that way? Well, I really couldn't stand the way they, bum. Ah, that's interesting. See, you have to peel back the onion layers. Never superficial, because you will come off as though you're superficial in that you're just sitting there waiting to come in for the kill instead of really listening. Now, I do want to say in the context of this was a 2-step process that I did, by the way. I set up the appointment, I got some basic information, and then I sent them very specific information, homework, that I assigned them to do in advance of my 2nd-step consultation because I want them to have ownership in the sales process. I'm not going to just own this on my end. No way, Jose. No, I need to get Jose involved with the conversation. Jose, all right, so you have told me that you have a big concern for boom, boom, and boom. Here's what I'm going to do. I just want to send you a couple of videos that are exactly tailored to what you're talking about. So one is 4 minutes, the other is 6 minutes in length. And what I want you to do, Jose, is I want you to listen to those, take notes, and then when we connect, I want to get any of your questions answered. Does that sound like a good deal, Jose? Was that going to work for you? Always get a commitment back. Always look for affirmation. Don't just talk at them and say, does that make sense to you, Jose? Is that something you can do? Okay. And when I book an appointment, I always say, by the way, if for any reason something comes up, can you give me the courtesy of letting me know? And I wait. And I want to hear, oh yeah, absolutely, Ann. Now they've said it verbally and they become bound to their word, and it's going to scrub hopefully, their conscience if they don't meet what they said was their word. And if they don't, they're not a person of their word, probably not someone you want to do business with. Anyways, I digress. So we talked about divergent thinking, didn't we? Step 3, convergent thinking. We're going to converge in on the solution. And you're going to do that masterfully because you have been listening and paying attention, and you're going to shine a spotlight on your particular offer and how it's going to meet their needs. All right, so that is a mini course in consultative selling. And I've used this thousands of times with people with tremendous success. Alrighty, so I hope that this is helpful. You can get the book. And by the way, I have a mini training on it. It's in a couple of my different training websites, but maybe I can get that in my group back office as well. All right, so here's what you need to do next. If you are enjoying this conversation, learning about consultative selling, understanding the fundamentals of salesmanship and marketing, what you need to do is go to AnnSiegMentor.com, and you will come into my private leadership mastermind group. All right, so I hope you found this helpful, and you can go ahead and write in #replay if you have any kind of comments and thoughts that you'd like to give me, and tag me if you have a question. I would love to help address that. Okay, so thanks for listening. Go out and excel. Bye-bye.